My name is Averie and I love books, and look what I have. Hi there everyone, so today I'm going to be giving y'all my thoughts on Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. There will be two parts to this video. There's going to be a spoiler-free section in the beginning where I will be giving all of you a summary of this book, and then I will be going into my spoilery thoughts after that. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I absolutely love this book. I literally finished it maybe 20 minutes ago. So this is the new John Green novel that all of us have been waiting for an eternity. When he finally announced that he was coming out with a new book, I was so excited because we haven't gotten one since The Fault in Our Stars, and The Fault in Our Stars is one of my favorite books of all time. And in middle school that motivated me to read even more, so I owe a great deal to him. And so I am so glad that I got this book. I went home last weekend and my mom surprised me with a signed copy of this book. There's his name right there. He signed it right there. So this will be treasured forever. In my October video, I did not go into a synopsis of this book because I wanted to go in completely blind, because that's how I feel makes John Green's books better, in my opinion. If you go in blind without knowing anything, it just heightens the experience for me, so I didn't go into it knowing really anything other than the fact that I knew that the main character has OCD and so does John Green, so it's an own voices novel, which I was really intrigued by. So we have our main character Asa here, and she is a junior in high school, and she has OCD, and she also has a really close best friend named Daisy who kind of tries to understand her but has never really fully understood her in her OCD methods that she has. It was really interesting to read about that because I have gone through that myself. I have a few people that are close to me that actually have OCD, and so I can fully say that this was very accurately displayed because I have met people and I have been close with people who have gone through all of these things that are like what Asa is going through in this novel. But basically we have Daisy and Asa here, and then one day a very large billionaire in their neighborhood goes missing and he's a fugitive. The police are trying to find him because he committed a crime of some sort, and Daisy really wants to find this billionaire because there is a $10,000 reward for finding him. So Daisy convinces Asa to try and hunt him down, and it turns out that Asa used to be very close friends with his son named Davis. They went to a summer camp together 5 or 6 years ago, but they haven't really talked since. So it's about them all connecting together. It's with Asa trying to connect with all of these people and trying to connect with Davis again, even though she has a more developed form of her OCD later on in years. And it was really interesting to read about. It has fully impacted me. It has tugged on my heartstrings. I also saw myself in Asa a little bit, because with OCD you obviously have anxiety, and I have very big anxiety issues, and so reading about her anxiety just it struck my heart. I started feeling like, oh my goodness, she's feeling the same way I'm feeling. It was really emotional to read about for me, and I really enjoyed this book, and I totally recommend it. I was kind of skeptical a little bit going in here because I was like, it's been a couple years since we got a John Green book. I don't know how this is gonna go, but it totally met my expectations, and I am totally for it, and I totally recommend it. If you're on the fence about it, just go in for it. I really enjoyed it. So yes, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I loved it. Okay, so now I'm going to be going into all of my spoilery thoughts about this book. So bye all of you that have not read this book, please do. I will see you when you come back and finish the book. So I just wanted to talk about how much Asa connected with me. How she thinks about something and she can't stop thinking about it unless she does something about it. Like with her finger. That part at first I was really grossed out about. I bet most people were. But then, like, once the book went along, she cannot get her mind off of this, and that comes with the OCD and the anxiety part of it. And I honestly feel so connected in that way, because once I think about something, like, I cannot not think about it until I do something about it. I totally understood her in that sense. I loved Asa as a character. She's more of a quiet little mousy character. I love those. I love little underdog people who are quiet, because that's who I am. And I love seeing that representation in a book, because in most books that we read, they're mostly about badass, like, loud characters that enjoy talking to people, and I loved how we didn't get that with our main character. I was kind of disappointed though when we found out that Davis's dad died, because I would have loved more about that part of the story, maybe a little bit, because I would have loved to know, like, what happened to him. Like, did he just run away because he was running from the law and just ended up dying? What were the specifics in it? Like, I wish we could have found out that, but we couldn't have because there was no evidence. But, like, I wish we could have found more into how he left the home, and, like, how he didn't leave his family, like, a note. And that totally sucks that he left all of his money to a freaking dinosaur lizard. A dinosaur lizard. A dinosaur lizard. A dinosaur lizard. Are you kidding me? Who does that? And, like, I understand that he left all of his money to this dinosaur lizard so he could have his name and glory in case they find a way to make a serum from this immortal dinosaur so humans can become immortal. But that's probably not gonna happen, so why not give some of your money to your sons so they can live? Speaking of sons, I felt so much sympathy for Noah. Noah. I just wanted to, like, wrap him up in a little hug and be like, it's all okay, don't go for drugs, don't go drinking, like, you're fine, I'll hug you all day long if you don't do all that stuff. But it was kind of eye-opening for me to read about this 13-year-old boy is in grief, so he goes and smokes pot and goes and, like, drinks some vodka, and I'm like, ooh, I totally forgot that 13-year-olds do that, because I went to a private school and I didn't really associate with people who do that, so it was kind of eye-opening for me to realize, like, oh my gosh, kids actually go and do that when they're 13 years old. I totally forgot about that. That was such a long time ago. And I love how Asa treated him as a little brother of herself, and it was cute, and I loved how worried she was about him. Even though Davis gave her money to stop looking for their father, she still felt it was right to help Noah find their father because of how sad and upset and hurt he was. Even though she already had her money, she kept saying, like, but what's gonna happen to Noah? Like, how's Noah doing? Like, I love how we got that, like, sister-y element to it. It was very refreshing to read about. Okay, so we have also couples in this story. We have Michael and Daisy, and we have Davis and Asa. Michael and Daisy I thought was really funny at first, because we get that line where Daisy tells Asa, she goes like, I don't want to go out with him, I don't want to date him. Did you know he looks like a giant baby mixed with Beyonce and Drake? What? How could a person look like that? But okay. And I loved how at first Daisy was like, I don't want to date him. I don't want to, like, he's my friend. I don't want to do that. Like, he looks like a baby. And then once she, I don't know, started thinking like, hey, maybe there is something there, she, like, goes for it. And, like, that happens a lot in real life. People at first are very skeptical, and once they realize how amazing this person is, they go for it, and it ends up being an awesome relationship. At the end, I was kind of confused. Are they, like, friends with benefits? Are they together, but they just call each other friends? And then we have Davis and Asa. I really enjoyed their story. Obviously, I was a little bit sad at the end when I realized they weren't gonna end up together, because towards the end, once there were 20 pages left, I was like, ooh, this isn't gonna be like a Hazel Grace and Augustus, like, I love you till the very end moments. Like, it's not gonna be like that. But then at the end, once I finished the book, I was like, you know what? Not all relationships are like Hazel Grace and Augustus. A bunch of relationships that we have don't work out and don't happen. This this fully represents that, I believe. Your first love is your first love. Like, it's your first one. It's most of the time not your last either. And it was really refreshing to read something like that. Like, not all love works out in the way you are expecting it to. I was really hoping that she would maybe get over her fear for being close to someone in that way because she was afraid she was gonna die, but she just needs more help, and she has to take her time to get used to the fact that if someone's tongue is in my mouth, that doesn't mean I'm gonna die, but she's gonna have to take some mental time for herself to finally form that thought in her brain and finally like develop that feeling. But overall, I really loved their relationship. So Aza's OCD, yes, struck home for me. Like, all of the stuff that she was thinking about in her mind about how she could get like C. diff and get like sick and die, and then we got that part with her drinking hand sanitizer and her thinking, oh, if I drink hand sanitizer, all the germs in my mouth and all the bacteria in my mouth will go away. But then 5 minutes later, her inner voice in her head is saying, no, they're alive again, like they're here, you gotta go drink more hand sanitizer and clear them out. And then I'm like, honey, you're gonna die from that. You're gonna die from putting things in your mouth because you think you're gonna die. Like, you're not gonna die if you don't do that. Like, it's definitely kind of frustrating to read from a character's point of view who does have OCD, because you're like, no, you're fine, honey, you're fine, you're good, but they can't hear you, so you can't say anything. And then we do have that relationship between Daisy and Aza. That car crash scene, I wasn't expecting that at all. They got in that big fight, and I felt really bad for Aza when she started figuring out the fan fiction and how she's kind of in it and all the stuff that Daisy was saying about her. I just felt so bad for her. And then I was just waiting for the scene where she confronted her about it, and when she did, I didn't expect it to lead into a car crash. Like, in the beginning and the end, we have that closeness for them that I love. I love friendships like that. But then in the middle, when she started dating Michael, I was like, oh, you keep being kind of a bad friend, dude. And then once Daisy told Aza, like, asked her, like, well, what are my parents' names? Do you even know what they do for a living? How many times have you been to my house in the last year? And I was like, whoa, Aza's not being a good friend either. They're kind of being crappy friends to each other. I really loved how they resolved things and everything like that, and it was really cute to read about their friendship and how they finally came back together and stayed friends. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. It struck me in the feels for personal reasons, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope all of you loved it as much as I did. Let me know down below what your thoughts were on this book. I would love to know. Also, I really love this cover, by the way. It's really pretty. I just keep doing, like, I keep tracing the loop-de-loops. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, let me know down below what your thoughts were on this book. I would love to know and talk to you about them in the comments below. Okay, I will see y'all soon with a new video. Bye.